story of the time I got my face sewn back together. So, I was at my ex-girlfriend's house, and I had left my car at my house because she wanted to take one car back to her place. Instead of having her drive me over, I decided just to ride her pink folding bike instead. It was about 11 o'clock at night. I hadn't gotten any exercise in a couple of days, so I decided to do that. And she didn't have a helmet that fit me. Her head was a little bit smaller than mine, so I just took her bike without a helmet. As I was coming up to an intersection, the light was just about to turn red. So I decided to pedal really fast and catch the light, which I did. I just barely made it through the light. But as I was going through the intersection, it was a little bumpy. So what happened was the chain fell off chainring as it was going over the bumpy intersection. So once I got through the intersection, I looked down, and I was trying to scoop up the chain with my heel. I almost had it, and smacked right into the back of a parked minivan. And I smashed the whole back window with my face. And it ended up looking something like this. So, the whole thing happened pretty instantly, and I was really surprised by the whole thing. So, basically I'm riding along, I've almost got this chain picked up, and then I'm looking inside the back of this parked minivan. And I'm like, there's a crate of stuff, and there's a baby seat, and why am I looking in this minivan? And oh my God, my face hurts so much I can't even fathom what's going on. And then I realized that the back window was shattered, and I was hanging out of the back of a parked minivan. I kind of gathered myself up for a split second, and I could feel inside my mouth, it was full of all these little hard things. And I was afraid that I had smashed out all my teeth. So I immediately spit into my hand what was very relieving to be a mouthful of broken glass. It's the only time in my life I was like, oh, thank God, my mouth is just full of broken glass. And then I immediately ran my fingers along all my teeth to make sure they were still there, and they all were. My front teeth kind of hurt a little bit, but other than that, that was still good. But there is an amazing amount of blood gushing out of my head at this point. So I'm kind of looking down at what's going on, trying not to gush blood all over the front of myself because I can see how much blood. It's literally just a stream of blood coming out. Like, not even speckles, but just an endless, solid stream. So I'm just kind of walking around, cursing up a storm, just yelling at the top of my lungs. I'm in a massive amount of pain and just complete surprise at the whole situation, and just so angry at what happened. Because I was riding along, I was having so much fun, and then instantly, I'm in this sheer misery, blood everywhere, broken glass, I thought I knocked my teeth out, just complete misery. It's just the most extreme, fun to misery, instantaneous flash I've had in a long time. So, my ex-girlfriend at the time was actually an EMT. So, I figure I should probably call her, because I don't think I should be riding around with blood gushing all over me. Mostly, not because I thought it would pass out, or because I couldn't do it, but mostly because I just didn't want to cover the front of my jacket with blood. Because I know it's kind of hard to get out, and there was just a massive amount of blood. And at this point, our car is driving by, and the guy stops and kind of looks at me, and then immediately hits the gas and drives really fast away. And it was kind of at this point that I realized that this might be a little bit more serious than I wish it was at the moment. So about 2 seconds later, another car comes by, and that guy stops and actually doesn't immediately drive away when he sees me just streaming blood out of my face. So he rolls his window down and he goes, "Are you okay?" And my instant reaction was always just to say, "Yeah, I'm fine." And as I was saying, I'm like, "Yeah," and then I kind of thought about it, and I was like, you know what? I'm probably not fine. This is probably one of those situations that qualifies as not fine. So this guy calls an ambulance, because he could see just that I probably should get an ambulance. So it's at this point that I get my cell phone out and I call my ex-girlfriend up. And I call her up and I go, "I need help." And she's like, "Really?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I crashed my leg." And then that's when I realized that my whole lip was split open. And when I noticed just how badly I was talking. So she drives over, It's only like a 1 minute drive. And she looks at me and she immediately goes, "You're going to need plastic surgery." I'm just like, this is not good. I don't want to go to the hospital. I don't want to get plastic surgery. I don't want to have to deal with any of this. But now my face is split in half, and I need a plastic surgeon to literally sew it back together. So she breaks out a gauze, put it on my face. We all hop in the car, and we drive over there. And then we get to the hospital, and I go up to the check-in counter, and I'm by myself because she's parking the car, and the lady at the desk is looking down, and I walk off, and I'm like, "Hi," and she looks up, and she goes, I'm like, "That's not good." When people at the hospital get mildly freaked out when they see you, you know you're having a bad day. So they get all checked in. They put me on a stretcher, and I'm laying down on my back, and they're wheeling me through the hallway, and I'm like, wow, this is just like the opening scene of RoboCop. And the nurse looks at me like, what are you talking about? So I'm just like, you guys ever seen RoboCop? Like, just like that, you know, like in that, like, playful manner. And they're just looking at me like, wow, like, this guy, I don't think this guy realizes how bad he's got it. So they put me in the operating room. Another doctor walks by and goes, whoa, and like kind of like walks in and like starts talking to the doctor that's helping me. I'm like there's doctors like taking interest in me. Like, I don't like this. So the doctor lays me down, and he comes over and goes, ooh, and he takes his cell phone out and takes a picture. And that's the picture that I showed earlier. They decide they're going to give me morphine. And so they want to give me 6 units of morphine. And I get blasted on this morphine. I am just like, I'm singing songs, or at least I think I'm singing songs. Apparently I was just making an unintelligible moaning noise for most of it. But I was like, to me, I was like having humming full-blown songs out over here, just trying to distract myself. But the worst part was the Novocaine. Because they come over with the Novocaine needle, and they stick it here, 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 here. And I don't know if you ever had a needle jammed several times with very close proximity to your eyes, but it is really scary and not fun. But thank God for Novocaine, because they started stitching my face up while I was still conscious. So I'm blasting on morphine and my whole face is numb with Novocaine. So I don't really feel it, but I'm fully aware of what's going on. And I can't look away because they're sewing right here in my face. And I can feel the thread getting like pulled across my face as the doctor's sewing it up. And I've sewn a bunch of stuff on my own right that's not a face, you know, just clothing. But like, I know exactly what the sewing motion is. So I feel it on my face. And I feel it inside my lip and outside my lip. And I feel the doctor moving. Like, I don't have any feeling, but I can like feel the stretch and the pull kind of in pressure. Like, it's weird. I don't know if you ever know it came up. It's kind of an odd feeling. But I am fully aware of what's going on, and I'm just like, this is pretty horrible right now. So I'm trying to like distract myself. I'm humming songs, and so that takes a little while. It's like an hour or so, and they're actually cutting. The doctor also cut a bunch of stuff to make it all nice and smooth because it's all jagged from getting smashed through a back window. So they want to do a CAT scan on me to see if I have any broken glass still shoved up in my head, which I'm pretty sure I still do. So they lay me down in the CAT scan machine, they scan me, they pull me out, and the technician goes, yeah, you got a couple pieces of glass still shoved up your nose. And I go, oh, you mean like one of these? And he's like, yeah, just like one of those. I'm like, oh, great. So that was one of them, but there was still 3 of them lodged up in there. And my face is all swollen at this point. So I can't exactly, it's all swollen. My nose is all stitched together, like on the inside and the outside. So I can't exactly go fishing for these things right now. So we just leave them in there. And it takes me about 3 or 4 days to fish them all out of there. It's like the most relieving thing ever when you pull out a piece of broken glass that's been stuck in your head for 3 to 4 days. I highly recommend it if you get the opportunity to try it. But when I pulled them out, I noticed just how much better I could breathe, which was kind of surprising, but not really, because you restrict your airway, you can't breathe well. So a couple of weeks go by, I get my stitches taken out, and it looks something like this. It healed up pretty well. The doctor did a pretty good job. Most people, no one ever notices it until I point it out, and then most people are just like, you barely notice it. But anyway, so if you enjoyed my story, or if you're horrified by it, feel free to leave a comment, and I will be uploading more interesting stories in my life. So feel free to subscribe if you want to hear some more stuff. And thanks for watching.